All right, so I've done several videos on Prospect Capital in the past, and the overwhelming belief from most of those videos, if you watch them, is that Prospect Capital is a company that has not performed well, okay? The charts tell you that. It's clear as day. The last video I did, I talked about how this stock was down over 50% all time, and how this stock was a liability in your portfolio from a growth stock perspective. And as of the 7th of November of last month, 2024, PSEC just cut their dividend by 25%. This is a hefty cut for dividend investors who, especially if you have a substantial amount of this particular asset in your portfolio, and if you were relying on it to fund a big part of your monthly income. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you diversify even your dividend portfolio, because you never know when a dividend cut is around the corner. Now, I predicted that Prospect Capital could not sustain paying out their 14% dividend yield, and that eventually it would be cut. And here we are. The last cut before last month, was back in 2017, when they went from paying about 8 cents per share down to 6 cents per share. Now, with a 25% dividend cut, we are looking at about 4.5 cents per share every single month. And on top of that, as you might expect, the stock price reacted to this cut as just about as well as you would expect, right? Dropping even more significantly, and dropped all the way down to $4.50 per share. And since then, it's dropped even more, currently sitting at around $4.37 per share today. Despite the price drop in valuation, right, there are some positive things happening depending on how you look at it. If you are looking for any positives to take away from this stock or from news surrounding this stock, then you might want to tune in for what we're about to check into today, all right? One of the positives that we're going to get into, we're going to need to head over to Google and check out an article that came across my timeline, which discusses what is happening with Prospect Capital. Now, the Prospect Capital CEO just made a massive purchase upon that news, upon the price cut. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, this video so far has been nothing but bad news. So what positive news could you possibly take out of a 25% price cut in dividends, right? I'm with you. I get it. But before I get to what I'm doing and my reaction to this stock, let me just share a little bit of information with you all. All right, so this article comes straight from investing.com. It says Prospect Capital CEO John Berry buys $4.78 million in stock, okay? So not only did the CEO of Prospect Capital double, triple, and quadruple down on his stock purchase, but he is basically saying right now is the time for him anyway to buy more shares upon seeing this massive dip in price appreciation. So it says John Berry, Chief Executive Officer of Prospect Capital Corp., recently acquired 1 million shares of the company's common stock. The purchase, made on November 22nd, amounted to a total of $4.78 million, with each share price at about $4.78. Following this transaction, Berry directly owns approximately 77.5 million shares. Additionally, through indirect ownership, Berry's spouse holds 328,590 shares of Prospect Capital. Now, in other news, Prospect Capital Corporation has seen significant developments. What are those developments? The company has expanded its preferred stock offering to $2.25 billion, indicating a strong market demand in this current climate. This move involved reclassifying 20 million shares from common to preferred stock. Meanwhile, Wells Fargo, WFC, has revised its price target for Prospect Capital from $5 to $4.50, attributing this to a lower secured overnight financing rate curve and an anticipated increase in shares due to the conversion of preferred stocks. Now, here is the semi-good news. Despite these adjustments, Prospect Capital reported solid earnings for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2024 with a net investment income of $102 million, or you might as well say $103 million because it's 102.9, and a net asset value of $3.71 billion. The company has emphasized its strong balance sheet, diversified funding sources, and significant liquidity, along with a strategic shift towards first lien debt. Now, what is first lien debt? Well, let's look it up. First lien debt is a legal claim that gives the lender the right to take possession of a borrower's assets if the borrower defaults on a loan. It establishes a priority order for creditors, with first lien debt holders being paid out before other debt holders. So, in other words, ladies and gentlemen, Prospect Capital is making a shift in the type of loans that they are dealing with. Now, they are shifting to a first lien debt, which means that in the event, right, that the economy goes on a burner or experiences some turbulent times like we have for the past, year and a half or so, especially the REIT industry. Anytime the REIT industry suffers and, clients can't pay their bills, they can't pay their mortgage, they can't pay to have those buildings, they're behind on their payments, they're behind on their lease agreements or whatever that is. Well, now Prospect Capital is saying, well, now we want to move into the type of industry that would allow us to be the first ones to be able to collect on those debts in the event that the economy goes south. And we're going to do that by seizing control of that said property. Now, that is good news because before, Prospect Capital was suffering when the economy suffered, because if somebody couldn't pay you, you just got to take the L and hope that the economy makes a shift. But now Prospect Capital is trying to move into more of their assets into that first lien debt situation. So these recent developments indicate that Prospect Capital is making strategic decisions to maintain shareholder distributions and strengthen its investment portfolio. Moreover, analysts have noted that the company has successfully tapped into the unsecured term debt market to extend liability duration and reduce counterparty risks. So it says Investing Pro Insights, John Barry's recent $4.78 million investment in Prospect Capital Corp aligns with some intriguing financial metrics and trends revealed by Investing Pro data. The company boasts a substantial dividend yield of 11.33%, down from 14%, as you all might know if you're watching my videos, which is consistent with an Investing Pro tip highlighting that PSEC pays a significant dividend to shareholders. This high yield may have been a factor in Barry's decision to increase his stake. I absolutely believe that this high yield dividend was one of the factors that made him buy another 1 million shares in Prospect Capital. Could you imagine what that would look like on a monthly basis of income as far as passive income? Jeez. It says, however, investors should note that PSEC's financial health presents a mixed picture. The company's revenue for the last 12 months as of quarter 1, 2023 stood at $821.73 million, with a concerning year-over-year decline of 7.23%. Despite this, PSEC maintains a 100% gross profit margin, indicating efficient cost management in its core operations. So listen, there's a little bit more there in this article, but overall, you get the gist of what is happening here. Prospect Capital is trying to make some adjustment in the type of debt that they take on. Now, y'all know what I'm going to do for these last couple minutes here. We're going to stockanalysis.com. and we're going to take a look at this. Before I let you know what I'm doing, So, as we know, Prospect Capital is sitting at about $4.37. We don't even need to look at the charts. We know that Prospect Capital has taken a dip. But I want to go to the forecast. Now, the forecast, this is why I wanted to come here, because they're telling you to sell. They are saying, listen, the stock price, even right now, at a low price of $4.37, hovering around $4.50, it's not a good deal. They're saying that it's a lot of unknowns still. And quite frankly, investors just don't feel comfortable or confident in investing in Prospect Capital. And how could you blame them? How could you blame them? In the last couple of years, we've already seen at least 2 dividend cuts now, right? Or maybe it's even more than that, because at one point they were paying out 11 cents per share. Then they cut that down to 8 cents per share. Then they cut that down to 6 cents per share. And that has since been cut down to 4.5 cents per share. So you can't blame any analyst, honestly, for putting the sell notice and attaching the sell notice to Prospect Capital. But what am I doing? Well, on this channel, I've talked about owning Prospect Capital. I have Prospect Capital in 2 different portfolios. Okay, they are not a hefty amount that I own, but they are in my Robinhood portfolio. It is somewhat of a significant amount. And here lately, with the price drop to $4.50, I was down in Prospect Capital about $300. But I'm going to show you something really quickly. I'm going to show you something. I took a screenshot, okay, of this particular number. And this number that you're seeing right here on your screen is all of the dividends that I added up over the course of me owning this stock, Prospect Capital. I took a screenshot after I had added up every single dividend over the course of my investing journey with PSEC in Robinhood, and it came out to $413.78. So I said that to say this: even though I'm down over $300 currently right now with Prospect Capital, if we added the dividends to that, I would still be up. About $100. Now, here's what I'm doing. I have decided not to add any more to my portfolio in terms of Prospect Capital. However, I am not turning off DRIP. I will allow Prospect Capital and the dividend, those monthly dividends that I'm getting, I will allow those to continue to drip and buy me more shares without me having to do a single solitary thing at all. For me right now, I think that may be the best decision. Now, will I change my mind, come back later, look at this as a buying opportunity and an opportunity to decrease my cost basis? Maybe. That is a solid option. Now, you have to decide what is best for you. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Prospect Capital. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this price drop. And let me know how you're planning on handling this investment going forward. Are you going to sell off? Are you going to wash your hands with Prospect Capital? Has this latest drop just deflated your faith in this company to make a turnaround? Let me know down in the comments. I read every single comment. And I'll see you all in the next one. Let me know later.